Welcome to the Hollywood Scholar. I'm Jed Morgan, and I just finished watching the finale of Moon Knight: Gods and Monsters, and I gotta say, it was incredibly anticlimactic. Holy fuck! I mean, Marvel, they've made TV shows and movies in the past. They should know how to make a good third act or final episode of a TV show, wrap everything up, do some action. They did none of that. It was rough. It was really rough, more from just a bad writing standpoint. There wasn't as incredible amount of political propaganda in it. I mean, everything with Layla was insufferable, but the writing was just mediocre at best, and they left several things loose, untied, and they've submitted the series as a limited series or as a mini series to several award shows, so they can't make a season 2 without losing out on the awards that they're asking for. So I have no idea how the future of this series or this character will look like going forward. So there's no guarantee that these things that they've left unanswered will be eventually answered. And it's just I regret watching the show. It was a waste of time. It was a waste of time. Hardly anything happened. Everything interesting that you thought was going on in it was just laziness. It's just like, ooh, let's do unreliable narrator. So we'll throw in random shit to confuse the audience, but do it in such a superficial manner that it doesn't actually work. God, throughout the whole show, everyone knew what was real and what wasn't. They clearly telegraphed it, but then they're like, oh, is it real? Is it real? Yes, it's clearly real. Come on. And they didn't do any better in this episode wrapping everything up. I'm going to be getting into some minor spoilers, but I don't really give a shit about this episode enough to really talk about it for too long. But yeah, the episode sees Mark going back to the Duat to rescue Steven. They're resurrected somehow. Amit is released. People in Cairo are dying, and then Moon Knight faces Amit inside of Harrow, and for some reason, Layla becomes an avatar for the hippo lady, which was, whatever. There were some issues with that because they made it clear with Steven that it took a while to figure out your godly avatar abilities. Like, he didn't immediately know how to summon the suit. He didn't immediately know how to use his super strength. He had to learn how to do everything. But she immediately knew, like, oh, if I do this, my wings will do this cool little move. And she was just, like, master and better than Moon Knight. Both Moon Knights and Mr. Knight. Immediately, she was just the bestest ever with no effort whatsoever. God, and she was really insufferable this time. She had this glare on the entire episode, and it's just like, wow, why does Mark love you again? Because you're kind of awful. And yeah, this whole episode, the whole resurrection, the whole last episode could have been avoided if she hadn't been a fucking cunt and gotten Mark killed. It was her fault. It was her fault that it all happened. So yeah, she should be feeling an immense amount of guilt and just stay the fuck away because it's all her fucking fault. So yeah, none of this would have happened. None of those people in Cairo would have died if it weren't for her. At least there's a strong possibility of it. Then why didn't Steven at least give her Amit's little statue thing when she tried to escape? He's like, run away. Oh, but do you want to take the god that we're trying to, stop from falling into the villain's hands? No, I'll keep that and let them take it from me. That was fucking retarded. God. And her inclusion, whenever she's around, she makes Steven and Mark dumber at the same time to match her dumbness so she seems cooler. God, I hated her. Yeah, a few more things. Now the gods realize that Harrow was a bad guy the whole time, and they're all so shocked by it. It's like, Khonshu tried to tell you, and you just asked Harrow, are you trying to do that? And he's like, no, I would never do that. Oh, clearly this man we've never met. Alright, you said you're not a bad guy. Okay, you're not a bad guy. Go on, have a nice day. The guy we were told is a bad guy? Is a bad guy? But he said he wasn't a bad guy. They're like children. So yeah, I was happy to see all the Egyptian gods die because they were fucking retarded. The CGI was worse than ever, especially Amit CGI. Oh my god, that was ever. And they retconned themselves a little bit. The hippo lady had said it had been forever since the last soul had descended into the Duat, and the last time she had to carry a soul across to the fields of reeds. But in this episode, they say that she helped Layla's father get to the field of reeds, which we don't know exactly how long ago that was, but it was a few months to a year, I'd guess. So that was a retcon. And she made it seem like it had been hundreds or thousands of years. No, it was a few months. Oh my god, that is so long. Fucking hell, they can't even keep their own shit straight. There's really no resolution. The end credit scene tries to wrap it up, but they, with Steven and Mark, they should have killed Harrow. Because Amma was far too dangerous. And then they acted like, oh, Khonshu wanting us to kill her means that he's just like her, that he wants to prejudge like her, and so Khonshu's bad. No, Khonshu made it clear that he only, kills or judges people who have actually committed violence and done bad things. Amit just killed half of Cairo. That meets his criteria. But Mark and Layla are like, no, that meets her criteria because you're mad that she might kill again. She's already killed, so it meets his criteria. And Layla turns on a dime. She's like, ooh, we're going to trap him and kill him. And then Mark's about to do it. It's like, oh, Mark, be a good guy, Mark. It's like, fucking cunt, you all need to die. Holy fuck. And the end credit scene, like, they finally reveal Jake, and it's going to be set up in the sequel. And it's like, Jake had been in the last few episodes a few moments. You could tell that there was a third accent going on, especially in some of the psychiatrist brain stuff going on with Dr. Harrow. He was around. They were switching back and forth to him occasionally. You could tell it was a third accent, but, Steven and Mark didn't realize that for some reason. But Jake should not have gotten out of the duat with the rest of them. That was something that was very clear to me, because remember, we saw Jake's sarcophagus at the beginning of, or at the very end of the fourth episode. We saw it like rattling in its cell, and it's like, ooh, Jake is here. Scary, scary. But he was still locked in there and still on the boat when Steven and Mark escaped. So he'd still be in the duat locked in his sarcophagus. He would not have been resurrected with the others and would not have been around to be Khonshu's new secret avatar that they try to keep secret from the other two. Fucking hell. That doesn't make any sense. Jake shouldn't be around anymore by their own rules. It was just boring. The final fight sequence lasted like 2 minutes, and then all the cool stuff they cut out still, with Jake taking over and killing those guys, and they'll be all surprised like, what just happened? Oh, the best parts of the episode? Yeah, we cut those out. Fucking hell. All the best action sequences, all the best bits of Moon Knight, because he is an anti-hero, so he should be allowed to, be an anti-hero and be willing to kill. So Jake was right to kill Harrow. I fully believe that, because Amma is so fucking dangerous. The humans can't handle him, and the Moon Knight isn't the type of character who should be squeamish about that. Now, if he'd been fighting Spider-Man, Spider-Man's moral code is a huge part of his character, so yeah, obviously it would have been wrong for Spider-Man to kill Amma and Harrow in that final confrontation, but not wrong for Moon Knight. They need to have some character consistency and match what's going on. But they're just like, oh, Spider-Man didn't kill Green Goblin, so we're not going to have Moon Knight kill Harrow. No. Fucking kill Harrow. That's what Moon Knight would have done. Steven and Mark should have killed him. Steven, I can get being squeamish about it. Mark has been so cocked in this season. He was supposed to be the badass. He was supposed to be the well-collected, smart man. And basically Jake. He was supposed to be Jake. But then he's just Steven without a British accent. That's all Mark offered. So, yeah, there's a lot left unanswered how Jake came to be versus the other two. They made it very clear how Steven came to be, but they didn't make clear Jake. So there's still a lot left to figure out with the whole Moon Knight situation, who's in charge. There's clearly a future setup for this character, but with them releasing it as a miniseries and putting it in for awards as a miniseries, I don't know how they're going to do that. Are they going to try to make a movie, Moon Knight? Are they going to make a sequel series? Or are they just going to accept the awards and be like, oh, we actually going to keep going with it with the season 2 anyway. Thanks for the awards, but we lied to your face. Wouldn't surprise me with Disney and Marvel, but we'll have to see how it all turns out. I regret watching the show. It was That is the best way to describe it. This if Layla hadn't been in this episode, it would not have been the worst episode of the series, but her inclusion made it so because yeah, she was fucking awful. So I'd have to give this episode a 4 out of 10. It was really bad. And I feel like I wasted, what is it, 3 hours of my life with this series. If you haven't watched it yet, don't. It offers nothing. It doesn't do anything thought provoking. It tries to be smart and it thinks that's smart, but it does everything the bare minimum that a first year film student would surpass with ease. With ease. It's not all that complicated. It's not all that smartly written. They even rip off the Joker straight up, having the bloody footprints in an insane asylum. Yeah, that was taken directly from the Joker. They really wanted to be the Joker. You could see references to the Joker throughout the series, and they just didn't have the intelligence behind the writing to really succeed in that parody or rip-off or whatever they were trying to do. And without it being rated R, you couldn't get the visceral nature that Moon Knight deserves. Moon Knight should have been rated R because he's that type of gruesome, visceral character. But, it's Disney. It's gonna Disney. But anyway, that's all I have for today. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Anon. If you like what I do here and want to see good, compelling stories that Hollywood will no longer give you, check out my book series, Odyssey of a Phoenix, a mythological epic about philosophy, morality, and modern-day mental illness issues. Books 1, Down in Flames, and Book 2, Apocalypse Then, currently on sale. Book 3, Kill the Dark, coming soon.